Morning, the 1st of July 2024, and the time is exactly 6 minutes past the hour of 10 o'clock. Good morning, Namibia and beyond, and welcome to today's Cabinet Committee briefing session. As always, we are coming to you live from the Government Information Center studio in the heart of the nation's capital. It's an absolute pleasure being in your company this morning. Now, to our first-time viewers and listeners, you are tuned into the Government Information Center's Cabinet Committee briefing session, a national platform that is initiated by the Government of the Republic of Namibia, emanating from the Government Communication Strategy that was rolled out late last year by the Ministry of ICT. Now, this platform was initiated to serve as a conduit for transmitting information on government projects, programs, policy formulations and advancements, but also strategic implementations and focus within the respective OMAs, that being offices, ministries and agencies. And of course, the aim thereof is to fast-track information dissemination across all organs of government to the general public. For this morning's edition, I will be your host, Helene Felipe Samuela, and I am super delighted to introduce to you Namibia, the Deputy Minister in the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Honorable Sylvia Makgone, to present to the Namibian nation her ministerial address. Once again, Honorable Deputy Minister, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on board this morning. You may start with your update.
Thank you very much, Helene.
Yes.
May I first and foremost greet the Namibians who are listening to this broadcast, and allow me then to thank the Minister of Information and Communication Technology as custodians of information for inviting us once again to the Cabinet briefing session. We recognize the significance of this platform and encourages MICT to keep up the good work. My agenda this morning is to give information on the aquaculture sector as per the mandate of the Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources, which is to sustainably manage the living aquatic resources and promote the aquaculture sector. Starting with its definition, aquaculture is the cultivation of aquatic animals, such as fish and shellfish, or of plants, such as seaweed, in a controlled and sometimes enclosed body of water. Currently, Namibia's aquaculture has two subsectors: freshwater aquaculture and marine aquaculture, popularly known as mariculture. The mariculture subsector is private-oriented for commercial trade and produces most high-valued species such as oysters, abalone, mussels, and seaweed. Currently, there are 11 active mariculture farmers employing about 205 employees. On the other hand, freshwater aquaculture is a government-driven sector and produces African catfish and tilapia. The intention of government is to attain food security at household level in rural areas through promotion of fish farming. To actively promote the freshwater aquaculture sector, the government, through the ministry, has established 8 operational fish farms and aquaculture centers countrywide, which are Hardap Aquaculture and Inland Fisheries Center in the Hardap region, Leonardville Fish Farm in Omaheke region, Fontenki Fish Farm in Karas region, Onavivi Inland Aquaculture Center in Omusati region, Ongwediva Aquaculture and Inland Fisheries Center in the Oshana region, Mpungu Demonstration Fish Farm in Kavango West region, Kamushonga Inland Fisheries Institute in the Kavango East region, and Zambezi Aquaculture and Inland Fisheries Center in the Zambezi region. These centers offer the following extension services countrywide: site inspection and assessment, meaning where you want to farm, then they go and do the site inspection. Fingerling production and distribution, water quality monitoring and sampling, fish health monitoring and disease control, quality assurance for aquaculture products, conduct research on inland fisheries and aquaculture. All these services, except fingerling supply, are currently offered free of charge as they aim to promote aquaculture in the country. To date, the ministry supports around 190 small-scale fish farmers countrywide. Aspiring fish farmers can visit any of our regional offices, and our staff members will be available to provide all necessary information. In addition, the staff members will assess the site where you intend to put your fish ponds, test the quality of the water you intend to use, and provide you with the fingerlings of fish species you aim to farm with at a small cost of 20 cents per tilapia and 30 cents for catfish fingerlings. The ministry will monitor your progress and also assist fish farmers during the harvesting period. All these free of charge. The ministry also facilitates aquaculture development through issuing of aquaculture licenses, import or export permits for live aquatic organisms or aquaculture products in both local and international markets. To date, we have issued more than 148 aquaculture licenses. It is important to note that there are also exemptions from aquaculture license for small-scale fish farmers who intend to produce less than 10 tons per annum of local fish species, mainly for food security and livelihood at household levels. To apply for an aquaculture license, one has to submit a completed application form. The application form can be downloaded from the ministry's website, or it can be obtained at any Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources offices countrywide. Before submitting your application form for aquaculture license, make sure the following documents accompany your application form in terms of Aquaculture Act 2002, Act 18 of 2002. A copy of a company registration from BIPA, a copy of environmental impact assessment scoping report, a copy of environmental management plan, a copy of environmental clearance certificate, a copy of your business plan, a copy of your land or site approval or written consent from the owner of the land, a copy of approval of water use, a copy of public notice published in local newspaper, a completed application form in full. All this is needed when you hand in your application form. If the application pack is incomplete, the applicant will be notified within 3 days and will be requested to submit all outstanding requirements within 5 working days. If the applicant fails to submit the outstanding requirements within the prescribed time, such application will not be assessed. The applications which met requirements will be assessed in a short period of time, and the findings will be submitted to the Minister for consideration. The applicant will then be notified of the Minister's decision, whether the applicant is issued with an aquaculture license or there's something hindering for that aquaculture license to be given out. It is worth mentioning that the Directorate of Aquaculture and Inland Fisheries recently launched the Directorate's Customer Service Charter, which can be found on our website. I urge the Namibian people to take advantage of the services provided by the government and to actively go through the formal procedures in order to hold us accountable. As indicated earlier, our mandate is to promote aquaculture and will go above and beyond to ensure that our fish farmers and aspiring fish farmers get the much needed support to improve Namibia's aquaculture sector. One of the key ingredients when venturing into aquaculture is access to land, water, and finances, as well as technical capability to implement and run an aquaculture business. Aquaculture is a business just like any other business. It is encouraging to observe that some business personalities are investing in aquaculture, especially mariculture in Luderitz. Aquaculture projects such as seaweed, abalone, and oysters are currently in expansion. In 2021, the ministry has approved seaweed pilot project in Luderitz that employed about 25 permanent and about 80 contract workers. The project shows some positive outcome and applied for aquaculture license for transition from piloting to commercial phase, where about 400 people will be employed at full production in the next 5 years. The ministry is busy assessing the commercial phase application for seaweed. The ministry has also granted another aquaculture license in 2024 for experimental project to farm with Atlantic salmon fish in Luderitz. As with every sector, the aquaculture sector in Namibia is not without challenges. Some of those challenges include lack of funding for aquaculture ventures, lack of access to suitable and sufficient water, lack of access to suitable land, and inadequate technical capacity, as well as slow growth of our local fish species. Despite those challenges, I want to encourage the Namibian people to venture into fish farming. We believe that together we can find a solution to these challenges and be a leading nation with a well-developed aquaculture sector. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Honourable Minister, for that very insightful and comprehensive report of the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources. We highly appreciate. You can now join me on stage.
Thank you.
Yes. In the meantime, while the minister is sitting down, this next segment is intentionally set aside for the media practitioners in the House. If there are any of you that have questions for the Honourable Minister, you may kindly step closer to the podium. Please briefly introduce yourself and the institutions that you present this morning, and then you can briefly put your questions to the Honourable Minister to address. She is here. Have all those questions and queries that you have prepared for the Honourable Minister to tackle this morning. She's here in person, and prepare the questions so that you can hear the responses from the horse's mouth. Yes. Do we have any questions from media practitioners in the House?
The first question basically is around the feed of fish for aquaculture farmers, because currently the aquaculture farmers are complaining that they are not able to fully venture into a commercial space for aquaculture because there's a lack of feed. Yeah, and basically was just what is the ministry doing, maybe to engage producers or to engage the Ministry of Trade and Industry to try and attract investors in that sector. The second question is around the issue of the water in the Zambezi Chobe rivers in the Zambezi region, because I understand that especially the freshwater fish, the brims and so on, because of a lack of water, the fish has gone into ponds, but the community continues to fish, although there isn't enough. So I just wanted to find out from the ministry, has the ministry probably issued out an advice to the community so people continue fishing? And then, because if we don't get water soon, because currently we saw that the Ministry of Environment has been handling the hippos, but I'm looking for what is the solution for the fish and the crocodiles in the river.
All right. Honourable Deputy Minister, did you note down those questions?
Yeah, I think I have them.
All right.
Yeah.
You can proceed with a response.
Thank you for the questions. I have two questions here. First one, fish feed. I have to agree with the journalist that, yes, we have a challenge of fish feed. We are trying around to, with fish feed, there is no one in Namibia that is producing fish feed now. And the ministry on its own, it started producing, but then the type of fish that we produce and also the materials, the raw materials, because of the drought, we need to get maize or mahangu to produce. So because of that drought, then we don't have raw materials to produce. So what the ministry is currently doing, we are importing fish feed. So we are importing fish feed from Zambia, and government then is selling this fish feed on a subsidized price. I can tell you per kg, we are buying this fish feed for $22, and we are selling it to the farmers for $5.20 per kg. So it's a whole subsidy that is going on there. So with the production, as from last year, I engaged a potential producer in Okahanja. So as a ministry, we gave the specification to say how should the formulation of this feed be. So we gave them the formulation. They have started. I think the problem that they have is with the protein to be used. Yeah, it will always also be to say, where do you source the raw material to produce this feed? I visited some of the farmers this year in the north, And I happened, because our staff members are able to teach the farmers on how to produce their own fish feed. And in the north, I happened to visit some of the farmers, and I got one that were producing. They took me there, they showed me what they are producing. And it's only to encourage all the others to go that way. As I have said, this drought is all over. So with the fish feed, even if the farmers are able to produce, so we don't have the raw material now, maize, mahangu, the protein, because the soya bean is the cheapest and we also don't produce it here. So I think with the first one. The second one also, it's about the drought again, but then the fish itself. Encouragement of the public not fishing is all over. Because if they have to fish, they should have a license. They should go to the ministry, they will get a license to go and fish. So, and we have the patrols that are taking place to look around for people not to fish while it is not time. But because the fish will go where there is water. If there is no water, if they are around there, then the people will have to take and eat, because they will not let it just like that. But we are doing our almost best, although it is really challenging, because the other side, they are telling us we are hungry. But then we are saying, don't eat everything. Tomorrow there will be nothing. And that is what the ministry also trying to do. I even went up to the island to talk to the people there. Although they were complaining, they understand when you tell them to say, no, this is for you. We want to protect this for you for the future. We don't want to eat everything at once. So that's what we are trying to do as a ministry. So I hope I responded to the question.
Right. Esther, I trust you are satisfied with the response from the Deputy Minister. All right. Now, Honourable Minister, it's at this juncture that I pause to sincerely, on behalf of the Government Information Centre, express our heartfelt gratitude to you and your ministry for your steadfast commitment and dedication in advancing the fisheries and marine resources sector. We highly appreciate you taking time off of your busy schedule to come here and update the Namibian nation. I believe that's all the questions that we had for this morning, and that also brings us to the end of today's discussion. We appreciate you, and please don't get tired of us knocking at your door. We will keep knocking, that is for sure.
Now, thank you very much. I'm there for the service. If you do knock, I will come.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Now, Namibia, that is all the time we had for today's discussion. Join us again tomorrow as we bring you another fruitful discussion here at the Government Information Centre. From myself, Hileni Falapo-Samunela, and the entire GIC production crew, we are wishing you a productive week ahead.